I'm bringing up the audio for now for the full race updates. The drone is in the air. And welcome for those of you on YouTube that are watching. Here we are, race number 10.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That signal signifies 1 minute until the start of race number 10. So here we go. I'm going to look for my X-ray flag there, which is the dark stick. Perfect. Thank you, Natasha. And the riders approach. Looks like everyone's setting up for a starboard tack approach. The usual suspects heading down towards the pin.
30 seconds.
30 seconds until the start. Coming up on 20 seconds. I see Excel Mazzella and Ollie Bridge, Maxime Nocher, heading down towards the pin end. And up near the boat is Johnny Heineken,
8, 7,
Tijuan,
6, 5,
Theo.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All clear, all clear, all clear. And away we go. The start of race number 10 is off clear. No people over the line early. And they're off to the left-hand side. Unbelievable picture. Look at that. There go a couple of the Mauritian local Groms ripping by on their foils. See a bunch of guys have cameras rigged up today. It's one of those kind of days where I saw Alex Kazik has his 360 cam going. A bunch of people have their GoPros up and rolling. Everyone wants to capture this memory. So as they run off to the left-hand side, they look to be headed. They reach a little bit of left-hand breeze as they just pass into the sandy clear water of the lagoon. So big lefty comes in. No one finds room to tack yet, so they're probably all packed up, and the first tacker goes. That looks to be Nico Parlier. And on the fly surfer, Ollie Bridge goes, Maxime, well, Axel, then I believe that's Johnny on the orange, and Maxime on the white. Wow.
Look at that side.
That is something else. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying this at home as riders come from the left-hand side and they bang out right. Big lefty on the course right now. As the riders on port are lifted on their way up to the top mark. The top mark is set at an angle of 155 degrees. We have breeze from 155 degrees. Course length is 0.9 nautical miles from the center of the start line, and 150 degrees, of course, 155. And most of the sailors are on port tack. So let's see what happens, because we have this left shift on the course, on the left side of the course. Oh, something happened up there with a little bobble on the red kite. We measured the water before the race, and the water measures the exact length of an Optimus dinghy sprit pole minus 1 hand length. So what we think is that this is kind of the high water mark, and this high water mark we're hoping will last for the day, in time for us to get 2 races off, a 20-minute break, and then 3 races. So a little bit of a bobble from the red ozone, and once again, your announcer has not noted the kite colors before this race. I do know Maxime is on the white, and I do know Axel is on the red and yellow F1 kite. But I'm going to try and figure out which of those ozone riders, Nico and Johnny, that is, are on the orange and the red, respectively. So there they are on starboard. They've tacked over. And what I thought was that fly surfer was actually a black elf of Ollie Bridge. There was another elf that was doing really well after that start, and it probably was Elena. Who is that? Is that Flo?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know, but we didn't see the orange flag down.
No, it's okay still. It's 3, 2, 1, orange flag down. So he started in good time. What's that? Perfect. All right, so here we go. Ollie Bridge once again, ladies and gentlemen, rounding the top mark in first. For those of you who saw the media coverage from yesterday and the interview with Ollie Bridge, he says that his foil and kite combo is really what's getting him to this top mark, and of course his time training with his pro family, all pro kiteboarders. I'm pretty sure Eric's like I think he's an honorary pro kiteboarder at this point because the rest of his family is all pro. I'm sure Eric actually is a pro. He's an excellent kiteboarder and excellent athlete himself. So there comes Ollie jibing on the port. A little bit of a slow jibe. He ran into the boundary buoys over there, and he's coming at us. So up at the top, around the top mark, there's a righty. Down at the bottom, we saw a lefty. So the breeze is pretty shifty out here. I would say shiftier than most of the venues we've seen. You know, of course, you go to San Francisco and you see kind of gusty and sporadic shifts that are more swirling breeze that come from the Golden Gate Bridge. But here we have a more type of oscillating breeze. An oscillating breeze, of course, the type of breeze that Dr. Stuart Walker coined in his books, Wind Strategy and Positioning. 2 different books, that is. So we have a solid oscillation here that riders are able to play with. And now that Ollie comes, he was originally in this left breeze when he jibed, and he was not laying the mark. Now that he comes down and approaches, the oscillation comes in, he's got right breeze on, and he's able to lay this bottom mark, and he's actually seemingly overstood. So the orange kite is Nico Parlier, the red kite is Johnny Heineken. And Parlier is able to handily pass Ollie Bridge on the downwind. So Parlier once again comes in with his big push as he rounds right in front of Ollie Bridge. Ollie Bridge is on a 13-meter elf. Parlier looks to be on a 15-meter R1 V2, as well as Johnny Heineken's on his 15-meter R1 V2, probably V3. Maxime Nocher comes by on his F1 setup. He's repping all F1. He's got an F1 board, F1 foil, F1 kite, F1 hat, F1 shirt, F1 feet, F1 heart, as he passes through and takes a left-hand turn. So the first right-hand turner is Marvin the Marvelous on his fly surfer, and he goes out to the right-hand side. Now, what we saw right after this, right after that round, approaching the rounding, was a big right shift. And the strategist, Marvin the Marvelous, decides, hey, we've got righty, I take a right-hand turn, and I'm lifted out of the gate, right? He's sailing the closest angle to the mark right now, as compared to the riders that I see up there. Heineken on the red kite is a little bit on a down number on starboard compared to Marvin. So this is really cool oscillation. I'd like to say that the breeze that we were playing with today is really, really nice for the thinking person's sailing. Now these shifts are almost imperceivable as you're sailing these hydrofoiling kiteboards at upward of 30 knots. But what you can gauge is the angle that you approach these different landmarks. As Joey Pasquale explained at the San Francisco event, he was sighting off the Golden Gate Bridge, he was sighting off the city of Sausalito, his home. And now these riders are able to sight off beautiful things like Point Diablo and Point d'Esny and the mountain behind us. And of course the Presqu'île Beach Resort, one of our favorite places in the world. Wonderful breakfast this morning at Presqu'île. I had a traditional French pancake with chocolate on top. Delicious. So Heineken is able, of course, because he had some distance on Marvin, to hold off that strange starboard tack number he was on. Johnny tacks up a beam of Marv over on the left-hand side, and Marvin is, of course, now on port and Johnny on port. Let's see how Johnny does against Ollie and Nico, specifically Ollie, who stayed on port all the way to the ley line and sent it all the way out right. I think it seems that Parlier had some trouble. I heard a ooh and ah as he rounded the mark. I don't know if he collapsed a wingtip or what happened, but Bridge is around the top mark. Nope, I'm sorry. Bridge is tacking at the top mark. He's got a little bit of space. Now, once again, in front of Parlier. Parlier has to double tack. And Bridge puts his kite up, and bang, he's on his way downwind. Well, my oh my. But Heineken was able to take Bridge over from the left-hand side. So even though Heineken sailed across the course on a down number on starboard, compared to Marvin at least, Heineken seems to be able to have made gains on the left, compared to Ollie, who banged all the way out to the right-hand side. So it's Heineken and Bridge now in the lead, with Parlier trailing in third. I think that's right. Did I got this right? I keep getting these orange and red kites confused. I wish everyone just had their own like personal color.
Yeah, right.
You know? Or like flags or big old names. Or just a mug shot at Johnny on his kite. He's like, dude, it's me. Big old fro hair.
In San Fran, I heard someone in the yacht club ask, how do you keep track of those things? And
Yeah.
the other guy says, they each have a number on the kite, and it depends what number is like the soccer players.
Yeah.
They have a number on their kite.
Oh yeah, yeah. They all have numbers. Wait a minute, everybody's number 9.
Everybody's number 9? Yeah, dude. The guy was like, those are guys.
Wow, here they come. So we are 11 minutes and 30 seconds into the race. We have a little bit of a longer race today because we have a little bit lower breeze. We have a closer finish line, so hopefully you guys can see an even tighter finish between these sailors. Oh yeah, someone just popped. Who was it? Was it Johnny? It was. So Johnny on the red kite just popped. Nico on the orange kite just in front of Ollie. And Nico Parlier looks to be laying this bottom mark. Let's see if he can hang on against the threat of Ollie Bridge. Ollie Bridge pushing hard on his bigger kite. No, I'm sorry. Parlier is on the 15. Ollie's on the 11. Maybe I got that wrong. I said it a few minutes ago. 13, yeah. Ollie's on a 13. Parlier's on a 15. Thanks, Alex. This is going to be a cool one. Look at them come in here. Parlier comfortably cruising, but Bridge pushing hard. Let's see if Bridge can do it. I think Parlier's got it. Nico Parlier wins race number 10. Once again, hangs on to the perfect record he's got with all bullets. Oliver Bridge comes in just seconds behind Parlier. Johnny Heineken comes cruising into the finish. He looks like he's shaking his head. He got his bell rung a little bit. He was probably pushing really hard to try and get those guys. Here comes Johnny Heineken through the line at 13 minutes past the start of the race. In fourth place is Maxime Nocher. Coming in, right behind Maxime, is Axel Mazzella in fifth. So there's your top 5, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful sight we have witnessed here in Mauritius in the Hydrofoil Pro Tour 2016. Right now it's 18 minutes past the hour wherever you are. It's afternoon here, 12:18. And we're going to give these riders all a chance to come through the finish line, about 15 minutes. And I presume we'll be starting the next sequence at about 12:30. Soon thereafter, we'll go live on Mixlr. There goes Marvin. He's super stoked right now. He's on his fly surfer, and he had a good race. He's happy, super stoked. Like I said, we're probably going to go back on air just after 12:30 here local time. So stick with us. Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon.